Hi, friends. It's Michelle Ladd with National Veteran Resources, and I am with my dear friend Tom McCrae. And so Tom served in the Marines for 14 years, and I met him at Camp for Heroes.
Yep.
And he just truly inspired me, and I wanted to have his photo on the back of my RV, as you guys all know. So, Tom,
Yeah.
you want to say hi and just introduce yourself?
Hi, Tom McCrae. Like she said, 14 years in the Marine Corps.
What did I say, 16?
14. No, you said 14.
Oh, I did.
I retired out as a gunnery sergeant. Did 6 deployments out in the Middle East in the infantry, and then EOD in Afghanistan. My brain just stopped. I'm sorry.
No, so you served, you had so many deployments, and then you told me you stepped on a,
I stepped on almost a 20-pound bomb. Little bit of bad luck,
little bit,
just a little bit of bad luck, will ruin your day.
yes,
And so I
but
woke
you
up.
survived it.
I did.
Crazy.
Don't know how, but yeah, I did survive it. I got a lot of blood donations, but
Oh, interesting.
like unfiltered blood.
But you needed it.
Yeah.
Didn't matter if it was
Well,
filtered
they
or
just
not.
take donations at the hospital directly there
Oh.
at the OR. So I woke up and my stepdad said, "I'm surprised you're not speaking British. You had so much British blood put in."
Is that right?
Yeah.
So I understand you were at Walter Reed
Yes.
for 2.5 years.
Yep.
Guys, can you imagine being in a hospital for 2.5 years? Every day.
Live across the street from the hospital. Go to the hospital every day.
Oh, so you were at the VA, you said.
Well, that was at Walter Reed, but yeah, went to the VA. My parents had me transferred
Right.
because they got sent to mental health actually, and told that they were in denial about the fact that I would be spoon fed the rest of my life,
Yeah.
and they had me transferred that day, pretty much, out of Walter Reed, even though I don't remember it, wasn't really awake, but they got told basically for my head, my brain injury was so bad that I would be spoon fed for the rest of my life, and they weren't willing to accept that, and just had me moved to VA public trauma,
Yeah.
which was a really good thing.
It was a good
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Come to find out.
You were spared, Tom, and there's a reason for that. I truly believe that.
You think so?
Yes. Look at you
Besides
now.
just getting dumb lucky and having good medical care.
But look at all you have accomplished. And so I did a little video yesterday with us out feeding the animals, and I was telling them about your seg chair and how cool
Yeah.
that is, and just all that you are capable of doing.
Yeah, way beyond spoon fed, right?
You're incredibly amazing to me.
The
So we talked a little bit about Tom knows who I'm trying to help, and we talked a lot about just being in the military and being a combat veteran and what it's like to even try to transition. And so you want to talk a little bit about, we talked about guilt
yeah.
and how that makes you feel and how do you deal with it?
Well, I call somebody when I'm
Who
feeling
do you
that way.
call?
Friends. Call a
Friends
friend.
that have been through it?
Yeah, friends that have been there, that have been through it, and call them up and say, "Hey, I'm not feeling so good," and they say, "What are you complaining about? You're way worse than me." And, well, I don't care. So yeah, I call people that and that have been there, that know what I'm talking about when I say,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'm having this problem or that problem," that
Yeah.
are really specifically related to PTSD and from being deployed. Yeah.
I'm going to remind them of the statement you made to me that I carry across the country, and that is don't drink and dwell.
Yep.
Tell them about that.
Oh, you can do both. I drink and I dwell sometimes, but I don't do them both at the same time.
Yeah.
Then you're talking about using it as medicine, and you're going to become alcoholic and use drugs instead of stopping and maybe dwelling and going and getting help for it and seeing somebody.
Yeah.
And going down the other path ends up leading to a suicide,
Yeah.
pretty much. Or really, really hard life.
Yeah. And so we were talking about all that our men and women have to deal with after they transition out of the military. And Tom brought up guilt. And so what I said is that I really feel that these young men and women, 17, 18 years old, they really don't understand what they're getting themselves into.
Yep.
And I feel like they should be trained and educated on all that comes with, especially being a combat veteran, what they could possibly suffer with, the reality of injuries and the reality of PTSD and suicidal thoughts and alcoholism and drugs, and that because they're so young, and I can speak from experience having two sons that are veterans, they think they're invincible.
That's
right?
the point.
Right, but you don't, at that age, they're not really thinking about what could happen and how they're gonna be affected by
Yeah.
being in
In
combat.
combat, yeah. Well, and even when you do get PTSD classes, I would say mildly ineffective.
Do they have that before you go to combat?
Well, depending, I've done it with certain commands. When I was in infantry, people would come down and actually a guy that wrote an amazing book that was a veteran himself and studied PTSD and training techniques and things like that. It's on killing.
Oh,
If I remember right, there's one on killing, on combat. That guy's, but it's specifically talks about a huge part about PTSD. But that guy would come out, and I met him in our battalion in Twin Up Palms. I did it with that guy, and then did it somewhere else. But he goes around and teaches about PTSD, and it's broken down all the way to, how people's bodies react to being in combat the first time, and how what is going to happen to your body, adrenaline dumps, things like that. And the really, really good guy, really good material that he has, but it doesn't go into the stuff like survivor's guilt. When you live through it and you've seen all that, it teaches you learn about PTSD, but you don't learn about the emotions that you're going to feel a year after you're pulled out of the military, and you finally have the time to sit down and think about it every day.
yeah.
And that's a huge one, is guilt. Guilt from seeing the tons of stuff, and like I was talking to you earlier, there was a incident when I was deployed that happened that wasn't even the worst thing that ever happened to me, and it broke me emotionally.
How did you deal with that?
Well, at first I didn't. Well, and then I woke up in the hospital. So at first, after that happened, I had to take the mandatory 24, 48 hours term where you're not allowed to go outside the wire after an explosion. And then my master sergeant came down and talked to me for a very short time, who was my platoon sergeant at the time, and told me that I wasn't allowed to go out for 1 week. Instead of 24, 48 hours, it was 1 week. And I swear to God, he looked through me and just knew that I was emotionally broken right there.
Yeah.
But he'd been there.
Yeah.
And so he kept me from going out. And then started working again and just focused on that. And then woke up in the hospital. And then I didn't deal with it for a while until I finally kind of had to. And started seeing, I often will say just recommendations, people saying you need to go to mental health. And then so I finally went to mental health, which was actually kind of hard for me because I had a really bad experience
Oh, did you?
doing mental health once. Yeah. Learned it's not voluntary in the Marine Corps. After you volunteer to do it on your own. Yeah, no longer voluntary. And they can force feed you a lot of BS. But So I finally went and started dealing with it, and it took a long time,
Mm-hmm.
but I had to learn to trust the woman that was I was seeing for mental health up at Walter Reed, and then took some advice and dealt with some of the issues I had. We'll say just a little bit of ice or advice, but also doing things like making decisions
Mm-hmm.
that are uncomfortable sometimes. And so now these days, I'm at the point where it seems like I can just do almost anything I want
Mm-hmm.
without having problems, but it's not always like that.
Right.
But I know when
You have
my
your
body,
days.
well, yeah, but I know when my body's going to react to something
Mm-hmm.
because I had to make decisions to force myself into situations that were uncomfortable until I got desensitized to it.
Right.
And then I said, oh, well, I can do this. But it took a while to get to where I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're a father, a single dad, right?
Yeah.
Taking care of a beautiful daughter. How old is she now?
11,
11. Aiden's 11
Yeah.
years old.
and I'm in denial that she's in middle school.
Yeah. She's so precious, and she loves her daddy.
Yeah.
And but you've accomplished a lot. He's got a beautiful home, and he's got a farm. He's got cows and horses, and
Yeah.
now you have goats, and
Oh, they're not mine though.
they're not yours, I know,
Do
but
not buy goats.
don't buy goats. They were hysterical yesterday.
Yeah.
So
Irritating. That's what they are. They're not.
I know that we had a really good time yesterday. One thing that Tom shared with me is just that, and what I'm hearing is that you went and got the help that you needed
Yeah.
to deal with your issues.
Mhm.
And that's my message to you men and women that have served our country and our communities. You have to deal with your issues. You have to get help for your issues. And so many bad things can go wrong if you don't. Can you
Yeah.
imagine if you hadn't addressed those issues?
I'd be holed up in somewhere with sucking on a bottle probably.
Yeah. And that's what happens. Most that I have interviewed have at some point in their life gone through that until they finally got the help, and some still haven't gotten the help. And if we're going to try to make a difference in this suicide epidemic, we all need to share these messages. And Tom, you just don't realize what an inspiration you are. And you're very humble about it, but I am sharing your story all over the country.
Yeah. You're
And-
making me famous.
I'm making. Oh, you wait. Let's just. We got 5 more minutes.
Okay.
Let me talk about what we're about to do
Mhm.
together.
Okay.
So many of you heard me talking about the thermal hog hunt trip that I put in for Tom to win this contest, and I went out there and just spontaneously said, "And if Tom wins this trip, I'm gonna pick him up and I'm gonna take him in this trip all the way to Texas." He lives in North Carolina.
Committed yourself.
I committed.
Yeah. Committed.
Well, Tom won the trip. So I just truly appreciate him as a friend and all that he's gone through. And I really felt that he deserved this trip. So I'm coming the end of February. I'm picking Tom up. We have a gentleman coming with us. We also had another offer, another volunteer, Terry offered to come with us. So we're going to discuss that. And we are going to be on the road together for 12 days. The hog hunt starts March 1st. And he thinks he's going to drive me crazy with his jokes and who knows what else.
See when it gets irritating.
Let's see who irritates the other first.
Be like a bad marriage.
It's going to be interesting. And Tom obviously has some challenges, so we had to figure out how we got him in the RV. And
But as you see, I get around pretty
he
good.
gets around so good. So I just knew that we were going to be able to work it out, and it's going to be documented. It's going to be epic. National news, I'm sure, is going to be following us. So what I'm going to be asking for is help maybe during our stops. I'm going to plan the whole route out, and we're going to ask you guys to share. It's going to be a truly epic trip. And, I get these darn migraines, so I need everybody to pray that I don't get the migraines when we're on the road. And we got to just pray that we have no safety problems. And I'm going to be doing all the driving. So Tom and I are going to be listening to our music along the way.
It'll be good times.
It's going to be great times. And I even offered for your service dog to come, but you said that's probably not going to be.
No,
She's a good girl.
she is, but she doesn't do good with long drives.
Oh. So you'll be stuck with Shella. She's probably going to try to sit on you because you'll be in her seat, the whole time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
She's
she's
going to be offended when I push her onto the floor.
no, she's going to be fine.
Okay.
She's pretty chill.
Yeah.
So we
Like I
are
said,
going to
she
be
is
traveling.
About as big as a purse dog.
He calls her a purse dog.
About the
Yeah.
same size as a purse dog.
She's so fat though. Together we are going to make a difference. We're going to be traveling and we're going to be doing live Facebook chats. Oh, I haven't even told you what we're going to be doing. And we're going to have you guys participate and watch our whole journey.
Which is gonna be totally new to me.
You're already famous
Live
though.
Facebook chats.
Yeah,
all that
but
stuff.
all you have to do is
Totally.
just like this would be like a live Facebook chat. Like we're on video, except I'll be driving or something, or we're going to have, it's going to be just a great time.
You'll be driving saying, hold the wheel.
Yeah. I got to pull over, take a nap first or something like that. Last night, Tom and his family invited me to church for dinner. And these people were so amazing. I just kind of snuck in. Nobody knew who I was. And your mother must have said something. Or somebody found out who I was.
The pastor asked.
Oh, the pastor asked who I was. So anyway, they asked me to speak and tell them what I was doing. So I told them what I was doing.
Small community,
Very
so they
small
notice
community.
strangers right quick. In
Yeah, I kind of stick out too. So I just, did a little speech on who I am and what I do. They were so wonderful. They just started donating. They took a donation basket and they were so kind and so generous. They know that this trip's going to be expensive, and they invited me to come back right before I pick Tom up. Well, when I come and pick you up, I'm going to be here on Sunday, and they're going to have me bring the RV. Tom and I will come over, and they're going to pray over us in our trip. So I feel so blessed by that because prayer is going to keep us safe and healthy and happy and having fun and not getting on each other's nerves.
Yeah. You won't be on my nerves. Don't worry about it.
Good.
I might be on yours. You just throw hot coffee at me when it hits that time.
I wouldn't do that.
I promise I don't sue. So
What we're going to do is we're going to raise awareness, and you are just you're such an inspiration already to so many.
raise awareness and maybe show people that they don't know that they can still do things.
They can still do things.
Even if a half blind guy can hunt with a scope and shoot
Yeah.
things,
It's crazy.
anybody can do it.
They're gonna see that you can do anything you put your mind to. Okay, that's our. Okay,
Yep.
I told them we needed to limit it to 20 minutes because we'll talk all
It's
day.
that
All right, how do you turn this off?
Where's the cancel
Right. Yep.
or timer?
Stop.
Word.
How about stop?
Sure.
All right, my friend, we're going to say goodbye to our audience for now, and I'll be posting more as we get closer to the time that we leave, but it'll be end of February, and you just watch us and watch what we're about to do. It's going to be epic.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Tom. You're
Yep.
the best.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. God bless.
Yep.
Bye, everybody. God bless.